Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we are coming to you from our store in Shelburne, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Must Love Yarn.
Yep.
It is Thursday.
A gray and gloomy Thursday.
25th of October.
It is. October is almost over.
I know, this
November
time next week it will
next
be
week.
November.
It's insane.
Yeah. So you can find the store out on all forms of social media as Must Love Yarn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, World Wide Web, Twitter, YouTube. Though, hopefully you know about YouTube if you're watching this.
Although they could be on iTunes or on our website.
That's true.
So,
That's true. But I've been kind of a
lots of places.
slacker about posting it out on the YouTube, iTunes.
YouTunes.
The YouTunes. I won't, I'll forget, and then I'll post like 5 episodes at once or something. So,
That's okay.
Anyway. So if you find us on iTunes, I'm sorry. I'll try to be better.
And I'm Kelly.
And I'm Angela.
And
this is Gage.
And that's Gage. Gage holding a pocket meerkat.
Gage the meerkat holding a pocket meerkat.
Right.
Right.
She looks like she's hugging it.
I know. Isn't it cute?
Very cute.
Okay.
You can find me on social media, Instagram as KELLYSPINS and Ravelry as KELLYSPINS.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid. And you can find our friend Gage out on Instagram as MLY_Gage. That's GAGE _meerkat.
Right.
And I'll put it down here. So feel free to follow any of us on social media.
You'll find on Gage's social media her meerkat shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
She got to meet lots of people over the weekend at the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival.
Yes.
And you'll find all kinds, mostly knitting content on my feed, but also some cooking and some dogs and some chickens and outdoorsy things.
You'll find all kinds of things on mine. But a lot of knitting content.
Yeah.
Yarn and knitting content. Or me just being a dork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
I was gonna say, the one picture I did not post, which would have been funny, is Post fall down the stairs. Because I was like,
oh my God. She gave us all a heart attack this weekend.
Scared everybody in our house.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. When I tried to apparently kill myself by sliding down the stairs. Anyway, it was super fun.
Yeah. Not really.
Not really.
She's
fine. I'm fine.
Bruised and battered.
Yeah.
But she was a trooper.
My chiropractor was like, yeah, I think you did give yourself whiplash.
Jeez. Oh boy.
Anyway, I'm cool. It's cool. It's fine. Didn't break anything.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully. That could have really put a damper on the weekend.
That could have really bummed our weekend right there. Anyway, I bounce really well. Okay, now that I totally derailed this podcast, what else is new? All right, so we like to start our podcast with a pick of the week, and thank you for everybody who has so far taken advantage of our surprise fun pick of the week last week.
Yes.
So you still have another week to take advantage of that one.
Yeah, so if you missed it last week, we did 20% off of ball yarns, fingering weight yarns.
Yeah.
And you can get some really great deals on their yarns by taking advantage of that. So check out last week's podcast if you, which was 108, I think, because this is 109.
Yep.
If you want to get the coupon code for that, because it is still good for another week.
Another week.
So
the way this works is every week Kelly and I pick, or Kelly picks, and I just am like, oh, pretty good job, Kel. Picks an item or items that we offer 10% off with the coupon code that we'll give you after we talk about the items. And if you have any questions about where that coupon code goes or how that works, we did a tutorial in episode 73. So just make sure that you see the discount in the cart, because if it's not there, it hasn't been applied.
Right.
So what do we got for our pick of the week this week?
This week, we have a brand new yarn in the store, so I thought that I would do this as pick of the week, and it'll be great for if you're working on presents for people for the upcoming holidays. There's a bulky weight, there's a worsted weight, and there's some little mini skeins of fingering weight yarn, and so that's great for, you know, hats, mittens, sweaters, scarves, color work stuff for the sock weight yarns. So we brought in Lorna's laces, and we didn't bring in tons, but we've got those 3 different yarns that we did bring in. So I'm going to go through those and show them to you because they're really, really lovely.
And I will say, if you have been watching this podcast for any length of time, you know that if we bring in a few lines of yarn and they do really well, that we are inclined to bring in more yarn.
Yep. So the first yarn that we brought in is a bulky weight, and this is Cloudgate. It's a superwash merino wool, and it's 90% superwash merino wool and 10% nylon. There is approximately 120 yards per 100 grams skein. It is machine washable, and
it's so soft.
It's really, really soft. It has a really cool twist on it too, and it's got kind of a pretty sheen to it too. So we've got, let me pull all the Cloudgate colors. Those are all Cloudgate. And these are Cloudgate.
Look at those. So cool.
Yeah, so these will be really fun.
Look at those two together.
I know, isn't that fun? Great for accessories, and you can use it for sweater too. There's some really
There's been a couple recently, like really kind of cool bulky sweaters that have been released.
Yep, for sure. That one is not.
Oh.
That one's a worsted, and it snuck in there.
Oh.
Never mind.
It still would look good.
I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same one. It still would. And actually, the worsted's a bit heavy, and this is a bit light for a bulky. So, you know, you could kind of find an errand in between and use these for that. So this is a really, really lovely yarn. This retails for $20.50, so you'd get 10% off with the coupon.
It's 120 yards. Did you give all those details?
I did.
And I just wasn't paying attention?
Yeah. I did give all those.
All right.
So the next yarn that we've got is Shepherd Worsted. So as you might have guessed, it's a worsted weight yarn, approximately 225 yards in 4 ounces, which is about 113 grams. And so you're at 4.5 stitches to the inch on a US 7. And this is a really, really lovely yarn. This is 100% superwash wool, and it's merino wool. So all of these are merino wool, so it's that really, really soft yarn. So if you have somebody who doesn't like scratchy yarns, then this would definitely be a way to go. All right, so I'm going to hand some off to Ange.
Yep.
We've got quite a few colors in these, and these retail for $23. And this is actually Hohe's Cathedral. So this is the one that Amanda Jarvis is the woman who now owns Lorna's Laces, and she has been working with a lot of designers, and they've been doing their own colorways. So this is Hohe's colorway here, Hohe's Cathedral. I know, right? I shouldn't have told Angela there's not going to be a nail after this. And then they're based in Chicago, so this one's called The Bean. So they have really cool names that have meaning behind them, which I really like. So these are really fun. So that's all the Shepherd worsted. And
the L.
Last but not least are our wee little mini skeins. So these are 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So great if you want to use them for heels, toes, cuffs on socks, or just do a fun, funky color work sock. There's some really fun ones out there right now. And there's approximately 107 yards on these, and I think they're 25-gram skeins. So, and there are machine washable. And we've got tons and tons and tons of colors. And I got mostly all solids or tonals, so that you can use them with those really fun, funky.
Oh, you got them. I'll take some. Whoa, jeez. These guys
hand-dyed
jumpers.
They really are. I know. They're trying to
jumpers.
So, and there is one that is the speckly one. That one's called Argon. So look at all those fun colors. Tons of them. Some fall colors, some bright colors.
Fun.
So if you need some skeins for heels, toes, cuffs, or want to do some color work, there's all those great color work shawls out there. Here you go. And these retail for $10.
Sweet.
Yep. So that's our Lorna's laces, and I already picked the coupon code, so you don't get any input.
Oh, come on.
You don't get to let us sit here and listen to us, you know.
People are going to wonder what's happening.
Talk
We're like all
about
organized.
this. I know.
Though we almost forgot show notes today,
We
so
almost
we're
did.
okay.
So our discount code for this week is WEEKLYPICKLORNA.
That's what I was going to use anyway.
So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Great minds think alike.
Awesome.
So 10% off our Lorna's Laces, our brand new yarn in the store. You guys get to see it pretty much before anybody else does. So take advantage of that if you are looking for some great, super soft yarn for yourself or for somebody else.
Yep.
So
awesome.
You are wearing an FO. Not only are we wearing some woolies today because it's very chilly out there and windy, but she is wearing an FO.
Guys, okay, so let's talk about this one first, and then I'll take it off. So this is the Audrey triple wrap shawl. It is knit out of a single ply merino silk.
It's like we coordinated our outfits today or something.
It's a Schaefer yarn company. Schaefer yarn, are they making yarn anymore?
I don't know. I have some of the Schaefer Ann, and it's lovely yarn. They're out over towards the Finger Lakes.
Yeah. So this was a kit that I got. I was out west and picked it up and then made the shawl. It's a really nice, the silk makes it so warm, and I love the colors, so I figured it would coordinate well with my sweater today, which it does. Because look, I finished a swag. It's done. It didn't get done for Rhinebeck, but it was close.
We saw a lot of swags.
There was a ton of people wearing swag.
And Ange wore her throwback, and we saw a ton. Oh, and I have to send you the picture.
Yeah.
So Andrea Mowry was there, and they did like a big group shot right after the podcaster meetup of everybody who wore their weekender, their throwback. And I got a picture of Ange kind of in the crowd. I'm like, wait, you got to come over here so I can get you.
Kind of scooted around and posed, and she took a picture, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
I have to send that to her, so I'll try to remember.
But I have, there's pictures got taken with, just random other people. Yeah. It was clearly a very popular sweater. It's a fast knit. It was a super fun knit. I do want to make another one. So I'm balling that stuff.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
pretty.
This time I'm going to do it on US 8s, though.
Yeah.
No more 6s on worsted weight for me.
Yeah.
Gauge. Whatever. All right, so I finished this. I did not finish it. I tried. I was thinking maybe I could finish it to wear it on Sunday, but it was not meant to be. So this is its maiden voyage, but it hasn't been blocked. I wanted to wear it today. I might wear it tomorrow, too, because I'm, super excited about it.
It's really lovely.
Thank you. So for those of you who've been following my adventure along, this is the 2XL size.
Mostly. I mean,
the sleeves are XL because, at some point I was like, I don't even know what size the sweater is. It's the size that fits me. Because it appears to fit.
So you follow the stitch count mostly for the 2XL, but you knit so tightly that your numbers aren't even your sizes.
Well, I intended to knit the XL size, and then I accidentally cast on the number of stitches for the 2XL, and I didn't realize it until I was, I think, partway through the color work, when I was doing a count just to see where I was, and I was like, well, that's not right. By that time, I was too far in to try to fix it, and I thought, I'm just going to go with it and wing it.
Poor Ange, did gauge for this one, too.
I'm done. I'm done with Gauge. I've broken up Gauge. I'm breaking up with you.
Not that Gauge.
Not that Gauge. The other Gauge.
She's going to be guardian of this Gauge so that she can have Gauge.
Mm-hmm. So really, the stitch count is the one that matches the 2XL. But it's not a 2XL.
Right.
I have a lot of yarn left for it to be a 2XL.
Right.
And...
All right. Hang on.
And if it was a true 2XL, it really would be hanging off of me. I mean, it's not tight, but I didn't really want a tight sweater. But I mean, it'll stretch. And I suppose maybe it is a 2XL size and it's just not stretched out. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, it's fine. I like it.
So don't block it a ton.
No. I might the body to get a little more length.
Yeah, but if you pull down, then it'll kind of pull in a little bit. So.
Oh, that's okay though.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I would like it to lay a little flatter. It's kind of flattened out since I've been wearing it today. I think as it hangs.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of puckering here, but not much.
Where the stitches were increased.
Yeah.
But that'll block out.
Yeah.
And just doing the same thing kind of down here. But I mean, for the most part, it's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Sweet. I like it too.
Thank you. I'm very pleased. So now I'm going to knit another worsted weight sweater. Oh, it's behind my ear. So I can finish something again, because this one got a little sloggy.
Well, yeah, and your throwback was so quick compared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was on 6s.
I know. Can you imagine if it was on 8s?
I know.
I've been like, done.
Done. I know.
Done. So, Yin, you're wearing your Sigla.
I'm wearing my Sigla again. So this is Mary Jane Mucklestone, and we have linked to everything in the show notes. So if you guys have any questions on anything we're wearing or anything we show you, I went through earlier today and put links into everything that I got at Needles Up and Rhinebeck.
I will try to do the same for the stuff I'm talking about today, and some of them I can just steal from Kelly's notes because some of our stuff came from the same place.
Yep. So I thought I would do that so that you guys would have that, because I know when I'm watching somebody and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. That's
really cool.
Because there's a few things that I got that I think are really, really fun. I didn't buy tons of yarn, so I got kind of some other stuff. So I will show you guys.
I have big plans. I clearly think I have a lot of spare time to knit. That's all right.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's just yarn.
Right.
It's insulating.
So what have you been working on?
Well, I've been working on Zwag.
Zwag. Yeah,
so
that's been your
Zwag
big
is
push.
done. I've been working on the little tube socks. So this was my walking around knitting when we were at the festival this weekend. I'm just going to finish these two so I don't lose that. So I'm almost done with these guys. So I have a little bit further to go. So there's sock number 1. There's sock number 2. This is the remnants of a sock blank, Gail's Art sock blank, which I knit a pair of socks for myself out of, and then had attempted to knit a pair of shorty socks for myself out of, and it was clear that I did not have enough yarn. So I ripped it back and am knitting some tube socks for Little Miss.
Excellent.
So when I'm done with that, I am going to cake up some of the skein of some sock yarn to just get another pair of socks on the needles.
Nice.
So I always like to just have like a vanilla sock on the needles. Or maybe a sock head hat. I haven't decided. Yeah.
They're great too.
Yeah. Or both. I don't know. Can one have too many projects? I don't know.
Probably.
But I did buy more project bags, so now I can start more projects.
That's what I had to. I bought a sweater bag, so.
Yeah, me too. So the only other thing that I've been working on was I cast on a pair of mitts. I think I showed this part. So this is the red flannel mitts by Alicia Plummer. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
The little plums.
Yes.
Yep, Alicia Plummer.
So I have one done. So this is just some
Super
leftover tart.
I really like that.
It's just
that
a
pattern.
It's a really fun pattern, and it's got a fold over cuff.
And it's just using the pearl stitches to create that.
Little
It looks almost
texture.
like cabling, but it's not. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
I like those.
So I'm pretty sure these are going in the gift
Nice.
bin.
Those will be lovely.
Yeah, I haven't decided if they're going in for the charity knit here or if they're going to go into like the personal gift bin.
When you need a quick gift, you're like, oh, I need something for
Well,
somebody.
our Christmas is coming up, and teacher gifts and the whole 9 yards. So they may go in there for that. So I have one done, and then I just started doing the increases for the thumb on the second one. So the nice thing about mitts, and this is Madeline Tosh. It's her sport, but her sport really is kind of pretty close to the
DK.
light worsted or DK. I mean, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, because her DK is definitely like worsted.
Yeah. So it's knitting up. It's knit on 7s, 6s and 7s. Mm-hmm. So it goes pretty quick.
Yep.
So I've been working on that kind of in the evenings as I've been trying to plan my sort of plan of attack for what I want to start next.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see, what yarn did she call for to use? Oh yeah, DK, low shed DK. So I'm using a sport, but it knits like
basically
DK.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've been working on those 2 things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is the project that I started this Thursday night because I wanted to get something on the needles that was going to be really easy for car knitting and just for walking around and that kind of thing. So I am doing a sockhead hat. However, I decided not to do the ribbing, and I did a hemmed at turned edge. So I already,
which is really nice.
Yeah. So it's double the fabric here. So even though this is fingering weight, it makes it thicker around where your ears are, which is nice. And I just did a long tail cast on, and then I did do a purl row for the turning row. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to the point of picking up, I just went through and picked up a stitch rather than doing, provisional cast on or something like that. It's just as easy sometimes just to go through and grab a stitch from your cast on and pick it up and knit it together with your live stitches. So that's what I did, and I'm cruising right along. And so this yarn is from Stranded Dye Works. It is her single merino, and it is her Christmas colorway called Naughty List. And it was really fun. And I actually got to meet Amy when I was there.
And show her your project.
And show her my project. So she took a quick video of my project in the wild, as she said. So there we are. I haven't posted. You guys so bad about posting pictures. She's so sweet. So that was great. I was really excited to meet her because I do enjoy her podcast. She's a lot of fun. So the only other thing I wanted to do, I wanted to get 2 pictures of my upcoming projects because whoops, that's not what I want to do. Because they're in the very early stages. So, and the patterns that I printed don't have great pictures of them on the pattern page. So I will.
Is that one of your new bags?
It is, but I won't talk about it yet. So I swatched, of course, for both of them. I got gauge on this one. The other one I will talk about my gauge because it's different. So I'm only just a wee bit in, not too far in. So I did my gauge swatch, and I did.
And is that all the single ladies?
No, this is not. This is Alpha Slopey. Okay. So this is a bulky sweater. Knitting it on the US size 10 needles, and I did get gauge on 10, which is what it called for. So I will show you. This is actually the same colorway that I'm doing. Let's see if I can. There. I am not doing the button band. It's actually written to be knit in the round bottom up and then steeked, which I am doing. I did modify it slightly from the way that I've done steeks before. They have you do 2 purls right next to each other and then sew up both sides of them and then cut up the middle. I actually did a purl with a knit and then a purl, so it makes it easier to have that line of knit stitches, that one line of knit stitch that you can cut. Exactly. So you sew up both sides of where the purl stitches are, and then you cut up the where the knit stitches. So those are my colors, but I'm actually I'm doing some modifications. I'm lengthening it because it's called a short cardigan. Oh, I should tell you what it is. It's the Gila short cardigan and it's by Vetis Jonsdottir, and I know I'm butchering that, but it's an Icelandic designer that designs for Iztek, which is a company that makes Lopi. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's really, really lovely, and I really fell in love with the colors of this particular person's sweater.
It was beautiful with the kind of goldy.
The gold, yeah. So I put in my project page all of the colors that I'm using, but it's a dark gray, a white, and then this golden heather. And those are the 3 colors that I'm using.
Do we see a pattern here? Look at this sweater kit that I bought at Indie Untangled.
I know, right?
It's basically the same colors.
I know.
In fingering weight yarn.
Right. I'm doing both. So
I'm a glutton for punishment.
So I'm going to put a zipper in mine and have it be like a sweater jacket.
Ooh.
And I might even line it. I might get some silk and line it. I know, I'm getting super fancy. So I wanted something that I could wear indoors if I was freezing, or kind of like a 3-season jacket too.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So that's my plan for that one. All right, let me go back and find the other picture because the other one doesn't have a great picture either. Sorry, I don't know why, but here we go. This one. So the other project that I am doing is
another new bag from Betsquirrel.
I know, but I will talk about this in just a minute, okay? So I did do a gauge swatch. However, my gauge is bigger than what is called for in the pattern, although I'm sticking with this because it is actually going to work out perfectly. So the sizes that were available, the 2 sizes I was kind of debating between were a 39.2 inches, so she designs in metric, so when it comes out to inches it was 39.2, or 43.2. I kind of wanted something in the 40 to 41 inch range, which would give me like 3 to 4 inches of positive ease, because the 39 would only give me about 2 inches of positive ease, and I wanted a little bit more than that, but I didn't want as much as like 6 inches of positive ease. So by having a slightly bigger gauge, I did a little math, and if I knit the 39.2, mine is actually going to come out to 41.2. So it's going to be perfect, or 41 point something. Anyway, it's really close to where I really wanted it to be, to have the right amount. So the yarn I am using is Wing and a Prayer Farm, All the Single Ladies. So it is a single ply, 100% Shetland wool from Wing and a Prayer Farm, Tammy down in Shaftesbury, who is a lovely, lovely farmer that we work with, and we get her yarn. And this is a yarn that we have in the store. We have it in undyed, but she does do some natural dyeing on this as well, which is lovely. The gray overdyed is really beautiful. So I've got it skeined up, ready to go, and I've been debating, I might do this. So this is bottom up as well. They're both bottom up, and I might do the sleeves on Magic Loop and do them both at the same time, but I haven't decided 100% yet.
Normally that would net you with 2 sleeves that match.
Right. Right. Oh, come on. My phone is not cooperating with me. So the sweater pattern that I'm doing, I didn't actually tell you what I am making with this. But I think the sweater pattern will do this justice, because it's really lovely. Come on. All right. Well, that's not going to cooperate. Is Little Twigs by Melody Hoffman. So it's kind of a plain sweater, except for the yoke has really pretty details. It does look like little twigs across the top. You can see the detail a little bit better there. So I think it's going to be really, really lovely. Just a nice, easy pullover. So I think that's going to work out well. So I did swatch for both of them, got gauge on one, and got gauge I was happy with on another one. So, and this is a really nice fabric, and this yarn is so nice once it is knit up. It's going to be gorgeous to wear. So those are the 3 things that I currently have in the works.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'm getting ready to start I picked up, so this is part of my acquisitions. So this is some CC's wool, and this is one of 3 yarn babies. Actually, one of 4, but that 4th one's a fingering weight in a different color.
Right,
So
she got 3 of the same.
3 in this colorway, which is the Barnyard colorway. This is worsted weight yarn. And I was looking for a pattern, as one does. I don't tend to shop a huge amount with patterns in mind. I'm like, oh, I like that yarn. I'll find something. So I listed out like 3 in the show notes. So I was looking at Get the Groove, which was kind of a cute reverse stockinette sweater. I was also looking at Mountain High. And then I was looking at Cold Breath, which is like a nice cowl neck kind of sweater. And I think I've settled on the Mountain High one because it's very simple. The yarn is a little busy. And I think as we were looking at these, she goes, you're going to end up just wearing that like a sweatshirt because it's going to be so comfy and so just snuggly, and I think I can totally agree with that. I may make it a little longer because I like my sweatshirts to be a little bit sweatshirty ones to be a little longer. I have plenty of yardage. The 2XL size only calls for 50. Oh, that's meters. 1625 yards. I have 1680. So if I, knit like the XL size, or maybe I'll just...
Well, even at your gauge, because you knit tighter, you tend to knit tighter, probably ain't going to end up with...
I'm not going to run up with that, run out of yarn. So,
yeah.
So that would be the question of which size, it tended to fit with 2 to 3 inches of positive ease, but they show it with 6 inches, so that's interesting. So I'll just look at their sizes and probably knit either XL or 2XL just to have that oversized, go for that oversized look. So this was one of my purchases from CC, was the sweater's quantity of this. I did not bring the fingering weight Yarn Baby with me, but it's kind of a mustardy, rusty color. It was like a one-of-a-kind skein that I bawled and was like, oh my god, I have to have that on Sunday. As one does, because I hadn't already bought enough yarn. But so this is first up. I was actually, and my intention is to wind this before I leave today so I can either start knitting or do a swatch or something.
Yeah, our ball winder here is
way bigger.
It's bigger.
And it's all set up. And it doesn't come with helpers. So there's that.
There is that.
So there is that. So I don't know. Do we want to talk in order of events? Probably. Start with Needles Up.
I can go through my stash and stuff that I got. Yeah,
So Friday, we made our way down and we went to Needles Up. Started at Needles Up, which is the event that's put on by the wonderful ladies over at Legacy Fiber Arts.
Yep.
It was super fun.
It was really fun.
Really fun.
They get a really great group of vendors to come to their event.
So they had their yarn there. They had Fat Squirrel Fibers, so Amy Beth from Fat Squirrel Fibers with her project bags, which I think all of us bought project bags. Doghouse Pottery was there with her pottery goods. Paige the Framer was there.
Yep, it was great. We got to meet her.
Yeah, it was awesome.
She's so sweet.
So fun. Squid Fibers?
Classy Squid
Classy
Fibers.
Squid Fibers was there. Tuft Woolens was there. And who, I'm missing one. Yarn. Who was the
yarn? Yes.
Self-striping yarn.
Shoot. I didn't buy any.
I didn't
buy any yarn from her. I didn't buy any yarn there.
I bought some Legacy yarn. I think I brought some of it with me. Oh, I did.
I didn't buy any yarn from her. She had really lovely.
She did.
Lovely yarn. We'll think of it. Of course.
It'll come. It'll come to us.
So, Angela bought a bag. I may have bought 3. That's really cute. So
I love the birds. I just love the colors. It was really the colors that were speaking to me, but I do love all the birdies. Hence, Junior Bird Kid.
right. I will go down the list, my list of things, so that you'll have it in order that I bought it. So I got a doghouse pottery mug, and I didn't bring it with me, but I did take a picture of it. So that is what it looks like, and it's really lovely.
I have one that is similar colors to that.
Mm-hmm. Shape is different, though.
The shape is different, and I did not take a picture of it. Though, probably if you stay on my Instagram feed, it's going to become my weekend coffee mug, so you'll probably see it.
Yeah. So then I went to, let's see, Fat Squirrel Fibers is next. I got this. This is the first one that caught my eye because, like Ange, it was the colors, which I thought was really beautiful. And then I got a sweater bag, too. I got this adorable sheepy one
So cool.
with the stars and moons. And I think she did this as part of one of her shop updates, but I didn't end up getting it at that point. But I thought it was really cute. And I love stars. I am a stargazer. I'm not like an official. I don't have a telescope, although that would be really fun.
It would be fun.
But I really love constellations and can identify a number of them, and always look up to the night sky because I just love that. Especially this time of year because there's no bugs. You can go outside and it's nice and cool and crisp, and it's clear a lot. Last night was beautiful. So I bought those two, and then I went around the room and was chatting with people and everything. And I came back and I was standing there chatting with Amy Beth for a few minutes, and I just happened to like look past her and see a bag, and I was like, oh my God, does that bag have dogs on it? And she's like, yes. She's like, it's one of my favorites. I was like, how did I miss that? And she's like, I don't know. So somebody was asking her a question, and she like kind of casually pulls it off the rack and hands it to me. And I was like, she's like, you don't have to buy it. I'm like, well, of course I do. It is so cute. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
That is so adorable.
It is so sweet. I love it. And they're all in their like little woolens.
Yep.
With their doggies.
So cute. And Jen got one of hers that was
really
it was
pretty.
big. It was an Aaron size bag, which is her bigger.
It was black
bags.
and white with like the moon phases or something.
Yeah, but it was very geometric.
It was very geometric. It
but really it had like a red zipper on it, and like the tag, her Fat Squirrel tag, was red as well. So it was this like really
I love the zipper.
Modern sort of contrast. So it was awesome.
I know. She does such a great job picking her fabrics and coordinating the zippers and everything with them. So I really like
I did get a smaller project bag as well. I left it at home, but it's kind of that mustardy red kind of color really as well.
Too. Yeah.
So I also bought.
So you see, I got two sweater bags, so I had to buy.
Right.
I had to test on two sweaters.
So I did get a kit from Legacy Fiber Arts.
That's so pretty.
So this is their mohair silk yarn, and this is their DK weight yarn.
When I was looking, their booth was so mobbed that I didn't really get a chance to see. I'm like, well, they sell online, and we can give them a call if I really get to the point where I'm desperate for.
So this is destined to become a gift.
That's so
which
beautiful.
Is part of the reason why I wanted to get it. So you could make the Kobu hat out of this. And maybe I will still do that, but I have
that's not
something else in mind.
Right?
Yeah.
That one's so pretty.
So I got that. I did get a skein of bulky. It did not make it into the bag. That also is going to be a gift. I'm kind of on this like hats kick. Everybody's getting hats for Christmas. Bulky hats for Christmas this year. I think. Great. Yeah.
Nice.
So, I did not bring it, but I did get some Tuft Woolens soap, and again, it's stuff for gifts. So some of what I was buying was things for other people, which is maybe why I'm not like, I'm going to show all this stuff on the podcast.
Yeah.
So she has a really nice soap and like hand lotion bars. So I picked up some of those to give at Christmas time to friends and family.
They're great to do that. Kind of tuck them in. Yeah.
Yep.
The only other thing that I got at Needles Up was some fiber from Classy Sweden. I haven't been spinning, but I just, their fiber.
Don't let that stop you from
They
buying.
have these clouds of fiber, and one of them I'm going to show you is literally like, it looks like a cloud. It feels like a cloud. It's just stunning. So thank you, Sue and Chelsea, for your event. It was
really fun. It was so much fun to see people.
All of your vendors were great.
Yeah.
I had so much fun chatting with all of them.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Lily was wearing this sweater that I made
know,
her
so
when they first got there. It
cute.
got really hot, so it didn't take very long, and everybody was like shedding off their layers. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh. Chelsea had sent me a picture of her a couple of weeks ago in it, but it was just so cute to see her in person wearing it. It was so sweet. So this is Classy Sock from Classy Squid. And this is Old Magic, the colorway. It's Corriedale, Polwarth, faux cashmere, and bamboo. Ooh. And I just loved, it was so dark and deep, but then it had these like kind of pops of color hidden in there. And that's going to be so fun to spin. And I've done some spinning for socks before, but once I get my spinning game going again, I will definitely spin this up for some, because those would be really fun.
Nice.
And then the other one that I had mentioned to you guys is called Snowdrops, and it's superfine merino, silk noil, and tussa silk.
She pulls out her package and she's like, guys, touch this. I gotta touch this.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is just,
It's like petting a cloud.
look at that. It is.
It's amazing.
It's so light and soft and fluffy. It's just going to be amazing to spin. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. Probably just a really fun kind of thick and thin to do a cowl or a hat or something. So it's just stunning. My hands are really dry, so it's like sticking to my hands. But anyway.
The downside of silk sticks to.
Yeah, it does.
Catches every little thing.
It can be a tricky to spin with, but it's fun. Still.
Awesome.
So that was everything that I got from Needles Up, and you.
So Jen and I went to India Untangled, thanks to some awesome viewers who supplied us with some tickets. We were very, very grateful. In fact, I have a nice little pack to send to folks as a thank you. So we went to India Untangled, where I got into a little trouble as well.
It looked like a great event.
It was so great. The venue was beautiful. The layout was nice. It wasn't overly crowded. I could have literally spent a huge amount of money there. So many amazing designers. We stopped into the Vivid Fiber Arts booth because we know Amy. And we wanted to just say hi, so we popped in and said hi to her.
She's going to be doing the class at our retreat.
Doing the class at the retreat. We're very excited about that. She's very excited about it. We popped in to say hi to Katie at Katrinkles, because she was also vending there for the first time.
Oh, it was really funny. So I was watching Mina's Rhinebeck recap video this morning, and I see Jen's sweater, like she's panning around the India Untangled. I'm like, there's Jen! There's Jen! It was really funny.
Yes. I did say hi to Mina. I also chatted with Corrado Lark for a while. He was floating around there, and
It was great to meet him in person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we met so many new people this year that we know have been watching the podcast, but we hadn't got a chance to meet them yet.
So it was
so
amazing.
it was fun to meet him.
And then I popped into the Fuse Fiber Studio booth because I wanted to say hey
and
to
then did some damage.
and thank her for doing the yarn for the last seasons of Vermont box, and let her know that they had all sold and the people were really excited and loved the colorways, and then promptly bought a whole bunch of yarn because her yarn is beautiful.
It is really lovely.
So she had this set. So she designed it for the Excel sweater.
The one that was
on the cover of
magazine.
Pom Pom. I don't think that's what I'm going to knit it with. I'm going to do something else. Some other two-color work. But this is a merino cashmere nylon blend, the darker ones. And this one is just a single ply merino. So it's and I don't know if you can see through the plastic, but this black, it's called Black Pearls, has a whole
Some browns and
bunch
blues
of
and
rusts and just, it's very, there's a lot of depth there. You can kind of see through there.
yeah.
A lot of depth of color, and this yellow is showing up a little lighter than it is in person, but it's
showing up a little bit more green with the
Yeah.
fluorescent lights too. It's,
not really a yellow person, but this thing just spoke to me. So it had to come home with me.
there's some really deep pops of orange in it too, which
And
is really
some
lovely.
like darker gray. I don't know if you can see on the back side there. So I'm very excited.
It's gorgeous.
6 and 7 fiber. Oh, it's from a different dyer. I didn't even realize that. Look at that. Huh.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
The yellow.
Yeah.
And then those are fused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have her label on
Yeah.
it. Oh, so
Anyway,
they did a collaboration.
They did a collaboration.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
cool. Now I get to try even more yarn. Awesome. Cool. I didn't even realize that. I just was like, ooh, pretty colors. I did get a couple skeins of DK weight yarn from her as well that I did not bring in with me, and those are destined to, again, be some more gifts, hats and mittens, some colorwork stuff, or I might hold it and do another colorwork, like DK weight colorwork sweater. They're kind of like plummy. One's a really deep, like wine color, and the other one's more of like a brown, speckly color.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was...
It looked like a great event.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I like the new system. I know some people were very unhappy about having to have a ticket.
For them,
but
I'm
for them,
sure-
for crowd
yeah.
control, it's just... I think
It's the way they're going to have to do it.
I think
Because
that's-
otherwise it
yeah.
just gets mobbed. And
Yep.
It's
Yep.
insane.
And there weren't parking issues or having to stand in line for hours to try to get into the event. And I think it was a much nicer shopping experience.
Yeah, in the past, that's, you just get pushed and shoved, and it's just been not enjoyable.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't have cared if I had gone back
Yep.
because of the way it had been, but it
Yep.
looked like this year it was actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. It was nice. You could walk around, you could talk to people. I mean, definitely some booths were more crowded than others at times, but it's just a matter of waiting until one crowd clears out, and then you can sneak in, and it's fine.
yeah.
So we were just doing a lot of browsing there for the most part, except for that little yarn hiccup.
Yeah.
But that's what happens sometimes. You see something, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to have that. It's so the colors just speak to you.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So then we came home, or back to the house, and we did not do our Q&A on Friday afternoon like we said we were going to, because we didn't manage. We
I
did
saw
it-
Ange sit down, she's like, I can't do it tonight.
No. We did it Saturday. Don't worry, it's
We did.
there. I'm just trying to decide when to post it. I might post it early next week.
Cool.
Maybe I'll post it on Monday. It'll be a little like
Bonus
post-weekend.
halfway.
Yeah, something. So then we got up and went to Rhinebeck Saturday morning.
We did.
It was sweet.
Saturday was insane.
Saturday wasn't as crowded. I
The
don't
weather
think
was
as last year.
beautiful. It wasn't quite as crowded, but it was
Yeah.
still quite busy.
It was.
On Saturday. The weather was perfect. It was like probably high 50s, low 60s, and
Yeah.
sunny.
Yeah.
Off and on sun. Although we had one shower, it
shower.
just downpoured in the late afternoon. The skies like turned black and the wind picked up, and all of a sudden we were standing in line to get coffee and hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And it just like, thankfully there was like a tent over
And a
where
little
we were
awning.
standing, so it was fine and we didn't get soaked. But oh my gosh, it was wild.
Yeah.
But it ended up being, it was fine. It passed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of like sprinkles and showery, but it was
Totally.
fine.
Totally.
It was fine.
So our first stop was actually Cece's Wool.
It was.
And we've been talking. So I've already shown my yarn, my delicious yarn baby here.
So I also got some worsted weight yarn. This is her Scrumptious Superwash. It's 100% merino superwash. It's worsted weight. There's 560 yards per skein. So I'm going to use this to do a sweater.
Nice.
And she had so many colorways that I just
Oh my
adored.
gosh,
But
so amazing.
But this green, I saw it, and I've been wanting to do a green sweater for a while. So I might have to do 560 yards. So that's what, 1,120.
Yeah.
So I want to do a cable sweater, but I might not have enough unless I do like a cropped cable sweater which I could do. Or I could combine it with something else. I don't know. Still have to think about it because I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. But it's really, really lovely. I love this green. It's so pretty. So I got that as Cece's.
So, and the other thing that Cece had in her booth were these, what she was calling crazy skeins, which are no two skeins are alike. So these are basically mill ends from the mill, and they just take all the remnants and they apply them together. So it's
really
like
fun.
This really fun, marled, variegated, stripy, crazy yarn. So this is some yarn that I picked up for William. He's been after me. He'd like some fingerless mitts. He's seen mine and he wants them. So I picked this up.
Perfect.
And asked him if this was going to work when I got home, and he said yes, he thought so. So I have a couple, or at least one pattern identified that I think will work well.
Nice.
And then I picked this one up for Miss Abigail, which she, once I showed it to her, I couldn't get it away from her. She was like, "Where's my yarn? Where's my yarn?" And then she dropped it somewhere and wandered off, so I scooped it up and put it in my bag. So that's for
fun
for her. I also did purchase a couple of extra skeins.
You guys will be seeing these down the road.
We're going to use for prizes. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for these guys. I've got some like pink really and fun. Green. That one's super fun. And then this one's like a little bit of everything. So we did pick up some stuff for prizes. So that's some of the prize stuff, which I can leave here.
Nice. Also in the same building as Cece's, actually the first place we actually stopped because we said hi to Tammy. So Wing and a Prayer Farm, who I talked about earlier because I'm using her All the Single Ladies to make my sweater. She does a lot of natural dyeing, so I picked up one of her little project bags with her logo on it, which is really sweet. And the other thing I picked up is she did some eco printing on sock blanks, which is really, really fun. So I'm going to open it up so you can see it, because you'll be able to see the imprint of the leaves and everything on it. And I will probably use the project bag, and there's little bits of leaves and things falling out of it. I will probably use the project bag and just do a hand knit pair of socks with these.
Nice.
Because they're fun, rather than, putting this on my sock machine, because then it's just not as fun. Like, I like unraveling it and seeing how it knits up.
How it knits up, because you never know.
Yeah. So you can see kind of the little ghost imprints of some of the leaves and petals.
Super cool.
That she used. So it's really fun. So I'll have a little project bag to put that in.
Nice.
And she had some other ones. I almost bought a couple other ones that are really, really pretty too. But little bits of leaves and debris falling out of it. So I got that. So that was some of the only other yarn I bought while there. What else is on my list next? Oh, right. So we, of course, made our yearly trip to
annual pilgrimage
to Gail's Art. Her booth, which is up on the hill too, and this was the one and only of this sock blank that they had there, and it was so fun. So it's a Christmas tree one that I just thought was so cute.
Nice.
So I snagged it, and they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky, you got the only one of those." And I was like, I know, I saw it, and I just love the colors on it. It was so fun. I almost got the one that you did, though, the cardinal one. That was really lovely. So it's cut greens and purples and blues and the gold in it. So that's going to be really fun to knit up, too.
Yep. I got a couple of sock blanks from her. I did not bring them with me. But I will show them. When I start working with them, I will tell you where I got them.
Yeah.
Yep. So the other thing
that we both got.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that one. Okay.
Oh sure. So this is from Crippen Works, and she does needle cases of all sizes and styles, and whatnot, and she has really unique fabrics. The fabrics are all different. And she has an Etsy store, which I've linked to in show notes. But we've actually also talked to her about doing a wholesale order. So it is something that we are probably going to get in. Which one did you get?
I got
the
double
pointed case.
I got a double pointed case because I need something to arrange my double points in.
I got the interchangeable case because I pretty much don't use double points and only use interchangeables. So this flap folds up, and then there's pockets, some shorter pockets here that are, spaced for double points, and then there's some bigger ones here. And then there's this cool little part where you lift up the flap, and then you've got a pocket for your cords and whatever notions that you want to put in there.
Yep. And
I just fell in love. Look at that fabric. It's woven. And then it's got like really yarn pulled through. It's so cool.
I will say the other thing that was really cool, not only the fabric that she used, but she had all of these really unique,
all the buttons
sweet
were different.
Buttons that were totally. Both of us just did the same thing. Sweet buttons. So we both picked up one of these. I
had the hardest time deciding between mine.
I know. I have a case that my interchangeables are in that I really, really like, but I had not gotten around to getting anything for my double points. And I have found having everything together in a case makes it so easy because I can just grab the case. They're all right there. I don't have to hunt around for them. And to be able to do the same with my double points would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I like one of the cases that I've got some of my interchangeables in, the Zings, the short tips. I don't mind that case. It smells horrible.
It does smell
awful. But the case actually works quite well, and I've been really good about keeping them in and returning them to it. But I also want to get some of the longer tip ones too. I've started buying them when I need a set. So I think those are going to go in here.
Yep. So one of these weekends I will populate this with my double points, and stay tuned if we get her stuff in here. So that would be awesome.
To show this.
I know, so
their
cute.
new pins. Aren't they so cute?
They're so adorable.
And then Jen, because I didn't go to Indie Untangled, got me this adorable little Stash Rabbit pin.
Stash Rabbit.
Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. So, I forgot to show those. And then I only have one other thing.
I want to show this little guy.
Yeah.
Kelly had one already.
Carol got me one because she's had one for quite a while, and then she got me one for my birthday this year. And they are super handy. So they've got a little clasp on them here. You open it up, and then you open it up. And so I've got stitch markers in here. I've got darning needles. I've got some of like the handmade progress keepers. I've got this teeny tiny pair of scissors that I got from Brooklyn Haberdashery last year. And I've got a cable needle. I've got my Fix-It crochet hook tool. So
mine's empty.
Yeah.
Because I have not had the time to put anything in it yet. But I did buy one because one of the vendors there had them.
Yes.
So I went by and got one.
They're super, super handy, and they're small and compact, so it can go in. If I'm changing projects, I grab this and put it in whatever project bag that I'm working from. Like, it fits in the one with my my sock head hat because it's nice and small. So they're great.
So the other thing that I picked up, I think you guys popped into the booth, but I don't know. I think I'm the only one that bought.
It started to get really, really crowded.
Yeah.
They were so cute.
So I'll make sure I link because this isn't on Shelly's list, or Shelly's list. It's not on Kelly's list. Who are you?
Shelly
Kelly. From Wee Ones, and we've used her stuff. She provided the stitch markers for the Seasons of Vermont, the July box. So I've got, these are little stitch markers, and they're sheeps, 3 white sheep and a black sheep. And then this one that I could not get, which is rainbow unicorns.
Oh my gosh, I could have gone crazy in there. I restrained myself, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. They were so cute.
So cute. There may have been a brief conversation with her, again, because I wanted to introduce myself, because I've been corresponding with email with a lot of these folks.
Yeah.
Haven't actually ever met them in person.
I know.
So there may have been a brief conversation about getting some meerkat stitch markers made. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, boy.
Got this thing going here.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, I picked up a couple of these from her. So these are super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun.
The only other thing that I got was a book. So the book I got is The Old Hand Knitters of the Dales. So this book was out of print for years. I think the last time it was printed was in, like, I think they said the 1940s or 1950s. And Cooperative Press, so Shannon, who owns Cooperative Press, went to the family and asked them if it would be possible to reprint it, and they gave them the rights to reprint it. So she was telling me that, before they did reprint it, it was selling on Amazon for like $200 a copy.
Whoa.
And so it's now back in print through Cooperative Press. And I've been really enjoying reading kind of about the history of the wool industry. And of course, this touches more upon knitting and wool industry in England. And I showed you when I went to Vermont Sheep and Wool, the book by Peggy Allen that about the wool industry in the States. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be reading up a lot on the wool industry, both here and abroad, and I thought it was really, really interesting. So I did find this book, and it was great. I actually had the opportunity to speak with Shannon of Cooperative Press quite a bit, and we may have some possible things in the works for the shop and with Cooperative Press. So stay tuned because we kind of were just bouncing some ideas around, and I think it's going to be really fun, some of the stuff we put together. So.
Yep. And so I also picked up a book. Actually, I think we all bought books.
Probably.
So I picked up this one, Wool and Wine by John Martin. How could I not?
I know, it's right
Wool
in the title, right?
And wine.
2 things you love.
So this is just a look at some various yarn and wine pairings where they went to various wineries and have little stories about the different wineries and various wool choices, so it's more like a reading book. There are some patterns in the back. There's also some recipes in the back.
Oh, cool.
Chocolate cupcakes with chocolate buttercream. That sounds terrible, right? Vegetarian tostadas, chicken enchiladas, gingerbread squares.
Nice.
Weren't you looking for a gingerbread cake recipe? So, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah. So it just kind of touched on a lot of basically like everything that I like. Wool and wine and food. So I was like, how can I not buy this?
Cool.
And then I got stuck in the really long book line, but I'd already had it like signed, so I couldn't back out at that point.
Yeah.
So I was waiting.
I know Jen kind of got in the same boat. She's like, I found 2 books, but I had them signed, but the line was so long.
So I may or may not have pre-ordered a Fat Squirrel bag while I was waiting in line.
Oh, did you?
I did.
That's right. So we had talked about it. She did a collaboration with Gail's Art. Gail hand dyed and printed the fabric.
Yeah.
And then Amy Beth is sewing up bags, and they had at both of their booths at Needles Up and at Rhinebeck, they had the bags on display so you could see what they would look like in person.
So they went,
the
really pre-order went live that Saturday morning at Rhinebeck, and so I was waiting in line to buy my book. I was like, well, I'm going to go see if there's any. Oh, of course there's some. So that'll be showing up in like December-ish. It'll be fine. By then I'll be like, it's a Christmas present. So that's, some of the goodies. I did go through Building E, which is the food tent, and bought a bunch of Christmas presents in there, wooden spoons and a couple wooden cutting boards and some spices and
that's fun stuff.
Things like that that are not really knitting related, but more like Christmassy type stuff.
That is fun to go through.
We got to meet a ton of people at the podcaster meetup. It was so much fun.
We're not going to call you all by name, but
I will miss somebody for sure.
For
but
sure.
Thank you to everybody that came up to us during the podcaster meetup, during the festival in general. And people are really excited about the pocket meerkat and the meerkat game. We are too. We also had somebody hand us a stack of hats for the mitten tree. So Corky Squire, thank you so much for bringing these. We will make sure they get into the pot for entries, but also they will be very appreciative. And apparently she has a ton more. This was just the ones that she was bringing with her that day.
Isn't that amazing?
So it's awesome. I know. So thank you so much.
You guys and your generosity are so sweet. So awesome. So we had a good weekend. We did have a good
hang out.
That to me is going to be more and more fun. Just like, I had fun shopping, but you can see I didn't buy a ton of stuff, and it was just really fun chit-chatting with people and putting faces to name, like, online names.
Yes, there was a ton of that.
Yeah, and you guys are just so sweet, and it was really, really a joy to meet you all, because and some people I could tell were kind of shy or nervous about walking up and saying hi, and please don't ever be, and let us know who you are. And it was just so fun.
Except the poor person who on Tuesday on
Tuesday?
No, I wasn't. It was out in the wild here locally. So Tuesday I went to St. Johnsbury and St. Albans in the same day. So if you're local, that means something to you. That's a lot of driving.
Driving across the entire top part of the state. Yeah, top
part of the state.
Which is pretty wide.
So we get our milk locally from a farm here, and we have to stop and pick it up. And so I was popping in to pick up the milk on the way to pick up my first child from childcare, and I was already running behind. So I literally needed to like run in, grab the milk, and leave. And as I'm doing it, there were some people in there, and the woman goes, You're from Must Love Yarn. And I was like, yes, I am. And I did not stop and talk like I normally would. And at one point I was like, I gotta go.
I got kids.
Like, I'm gonna be late to pick up kids. Like, sorry, it was great to meet you. And I felt like after I got in the car, I was like, that was a little rushed, and I felt a little bad. But it was just out of sync at the end of a really long day. So if that was you, I'm very sorry. And normally I would stop and talk way more. But
yeah,
getting kids. And I needed milk because everybody was like, we have no milk. I was like, you guys couldn't go get milk this weekend? So anyway. No. Anyway. So
we had a really great time, and thank you to everybody who did come up and chat with us, because it just made our weekend really.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun.
So, we have our own event, our retreat, coming up in March. We are getting down on spots. We don't have many left, so if it was something you were thinking about, we do still have some availability, but it's dwindling quickly.
Yes, it is. We get one knit-along going, so it's our Mitten Tree knit-along running through the end of November. And then starting November 1st is our holiday along.
Starting next week.
Which I went over all the details, and I will put up a chatter and FO thread on. You know, I might just make this one just a total chatter thread and not do an FO thread on the Ravelry page, and just have it a chitter-chattery just for fun. It's kind of a free-form knit-along anyway.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. We'll see. Check the Ravelry page.
You have a few more days to think about it.
I have a couple more days to figure out what I'm doing.
Right.
So,
we're kind of rushing through because we chit-chatted a lot about our weekend. So, it's all stuff we've talked about before.
I gotta go start picking up kids and dog.
Right. And then the only thing new in store is the Lorna's Laces yarn, which you can get 10% off with the weekly pick code that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
So it was great seeing everybody.
Yes.
We got to catch up with friends of old and new friends.
Yes.
And just, we had such a really, really great time chatting with everybody. That, to me, is always a highlight. Of course, seeing the little sheepies and seeing some of
I posted a bunch of sheep pictures on Sunday.
I know. I've got some pictures I've got to post, and I've got one of Angela I've got to send to her. So I'll hopefully do that. I don't know what my issue was, but I did not post pictures. I took a few.
It's okay. I was posting on 2 Instagram accounts all weekend.
Well, and a lot of people were taking pictures with us too, so I was like, oh, well, I'll be in their picture. Which is fine. Yeah. So it was really fun. Seeing everybody's pictures and following along on Instagram. And then there was people there that were posting pictures. I'm like, I didn't see them there. I'm so bummed.
Yeah.
There's a few people that I didn't get to see or catch up with, but because it's a huge event and
there's a lot of people
I
there.
know. And then there's some people that you like see over and over again. It's like, hi, I've seen you again.
Well, I was looking on Instagram later that evening, and I was on somebody else's account that they had posted, and I was like, hey, I know that person. I didn't know she was going to be here. Like, there was some of that, too. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's really funny.
Anywho.
I
think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and catching up with us this week. And to all of our new viewers, we've had some new people sign up.
Yes, thank you.
And subscribe. Thanks so much for joining us. It's a little bit of a different format this time just because we're talking about our New York State Sheep and Wool Festival weekend.
Yes.
But it's pretty much kind of normal format, just with a little bit of different stuff thrown in.
The acquisition section was a little bit longer, bigger than normal.
That was a little bit longer, but everything's in show notes, so if there's something that you want to check out a little bit closer, we'll put a link to show notes, which sometimes I'm a little bit slow getting the link in there, but show notes we do put on our website. If you click on the podcast tab at the very top, that'll take you to the most recent one, and then you can click there, and our show notes are there. So if I forget to put it under YouTube, that's where they are. So just go to mostloveyarn.com and then click on the podcast.
Yep.
So you can find it there. So thanks again, everybody, and we hope you're staying warm wherever you are, because it's getting chilly.
Yeah.
We had snow.
We did.
In a lot of places. Oh my gosh. Just a quick little aside. Mount Washington Observatory, I follow them on Facebook, so they're in New Hampshire, right next door to us, and they had like 6-foot drifts.
6 foot?
6-foot drifts.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy. You should go watch the video if you're on Facebook.
Nice.
It was insane. Anyway, leaving you with that nice warm thought.
Yep.
Stay warm, everybody. Wear your woolies.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye. Now I will start recording. I'm going to put this back on, though, because it's chilly.
It is chilly.
It's cold. My neck is cold. I'll take it off so I can show off my sweater. But see, this was going to be my Saturday or
I know,
Sunday.
it's like perfect.
Yeah, but I forgot this shawl.
Oh, did you? Oh, well. See, maybe it was good then. It was meant to be.
It's meant to be.
And now you can just wear it all the time, like I wear all my other stuff.
Very nice.
Huh. What are you looking for?
This.
Oh.
My knitting project. I'm really at a weird point with projects on the needles. Okay, I still have a ways to go on that one.
I may or may not have cast on for 2 sweaters.
What?
They're all ones that I've been planning though, so
I may or may not have bought 3 sweater quantities of yarn at Rhinebeck, 2 of which were fingering weight.
I bet 1 sweater quantity yarn. That's it. And 2 sock blanks. And that's it.
I bought 2 sock blanks too. I didn't bring those. I left them at home.
I brought mine to show because they're so pretty.
They are pretty. I was planning on buying a couple sweater quantities of yarn, but I was planning on buying worsted and or DK because I already have a whole bunch of sweater quantities of fingering at home. And I feel like every time I knit a fingering weight sweater, I spend a majority of my time complaining about the fingering weight sweater.
But then you wear the heck out of them.
But then I wear the heck out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 more sweater quantities of fingering weight yarn. And the worsted, but of course I'm going to start the worsted weight one because that's the one I'm eyeballing. But right now,
Excellent.
I'm super excited, yarn baby.
I have a worsted weight sweater that I swatched for.
Nice.
And I was going to cast it on, and then, so actually it's technically not cast on yet, but I've got the yarn ready to go. I want to knit the sleeves on 12-inch just because I was going to do 2 at a time. And I still might. I might do 2 at a time magic loop just to do it because it's a bottom-up sweater.
Yep.
I don't know. I have to decide.
So I am going to wind, hopefully we get done with enough time, and if we might, so I can wind that yarn baby right there. Bloop. Oh, sorry, so I'll start that over so I can just cut that out completely. I'm going to forego swatching. I'm just going to jump right in with 2 feet.
Excellent.
Swatching has gotten me nowhere except wasted my time.
You're going to do the Sue Stokes method of
Making
knitting.
the largest
Making
size.
the largest size.
I believe
Which
so.
tends to work out because you are such a tight knitter that
Yeah.
if you keep the same needle size,
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I was going to do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, guys, this is 2XL size. I am not 2XL. I'm not. I mean, I'm not tiny, but I'm not 2XL.
Right.
And I have a lot of yarn left over. And I should have had negative yarn.
Right. Yeah.
Negative
I
yarn.
know.
If I really truly made the true 2XL size, I should have ran out of all of my yarn.
Yeah.
And I did not. I have quite a bit left over.
Yeah.
So I have enough left over to make a hat and probably some mitts.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much yarn I have left over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So I think Gage is fully recovered from the weekend.
from her Rhinebeck hangover.
Yeah.
She got handled a lot.
So I ran into Cindy Wow Skunk on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Where's Gage?" And I was like,
She's taking a nap.
Gage's taking a nap in the bag. And I opened up the bag and Gage is laying on the yarn. She took a picture. I don't know if you saw
I
how-
did see that. I did. I didn't know the circumstances
Yeah.
behind that, but I did see that.
Yeah, and I meant to take a picture of my own and post it out on Gage's Instagram page. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I made good on my promise to set up an Instagram account for Gage. So Gage now has its own Instagram account. So when we do the beginning, I'll probably have to we'll probably have to insert a third.
Engage.
And if you'd like to follow Gage on Instagram, can be found at.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's been some good shenanigans and a little bit of back and forth from my feed to Gage's feed with pictures that kind of tell a story of shenanigans. So sort of funny. Anyway, I had a little bit too much fun with the Meerkat Instagram feed over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's fun.
It was fun.
It's fun.
A lot of people were tagging her in their posts, so
I know. I love it. Love it so much. So much. All right. Well, are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
We got lots to cover. Lots to do and
Yes,
see
we
and
do.
talk about. And
Oh, you have a spot there for my Rhinebeck weekend haul, which is blank.
you can choose whether or not you want to fill it in. I'll leave it completely up to you.
Okay.
I just wanted to have links to everything, so if there was something people were
true.
interested in, they could click on it. So
Okay. I can be not a giant baby and be like, I bought so much stuff. I'm gonna fess up. I only bought part of my haul. There might be more at home.
right, I brought everything, so you'll get to see everything that I got.
I will put up what
Except for my mug, but I took a picture of that, so I
Oh.
can show you that.
I got a mug too, and I have not taken a picture of it.
But you still have more yarn haul at home, so. Actually, and there's 2 skeins of yarn that I don't have because I got a skein of yarn each for our employees, one for Pam and one for Andrea, because they didn't go and they stayed here and held down the fort and did
Yeah.
an awesome job, and I wanted to thank them. So
Yeah.
that yarn I
Yeah.
bought for them, but gave to them so
Yeah.
they could enjoy it.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I'll put in the list what I am showing today.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
That works because that's usually when people
Exactly
want to find reference to it.
Okay. I'll try to do that when I get home tonight. Or first thing tomorrow morning. So.
Okay.
All right.
Works.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay.